Greetings, folks, and welcome back to another episode of Not Funny Guys Presents News Radio Rewatch. And we are moving into episode 6. This time we are in News Radio Season 2, and we're currently covering Rat Funeral and the Breakup. This is episodes 3 and 4 of that season, but let's get into it. Oh, sorry, before I do that, happy 4th of July. This video will be coming out before the 4th of July. Happy 4th of July, 250th anniversary of America. And let's start with Rat Funeral. This one is written by Paul Sims and Lewis Morton, directed by Alan Meyerson. This one originally aired on the 10th of October, 1995. Our basic summary is Dave is mystified with the staff's affection for a rat living in the news station. When the rat dies, the staff then holds a funeral. Now that's kind of like a, shall we say, low-level, very summarized version of what happens here, because it gets a little madcap. And I think one of the things what's good to establish up front, that storyline A is really just this rat's death, and storyline B is whether or not Dave is a cold bastard. Pardon the language there. But there is an amazing cameo guest star by Mark Starr. You might know him as one of the gangsters who tries to kill Jim Carrey's character and then character in Dumb and Dumber. Or you might know him as the guy that Andy mistakes for being a member of the mob in The Office. But he is here as the exterminator, and as sort of a deadpan way, quite hilarious. And apparently the whole office is full of rat lovers who are springing the traps. Something weird, and apparently we see both Beth, Joe, and Matthew doing it. And Dave is ultimately quite suspicious of this. In fact, Matthew keeps hurting himself. The rat traps is, like I said, setting off our storyline A, and of course the Dave unemotional coldness is kind of a storyline A1 or B. But the whole staff is apparently into this whole not killing the rats, and Dave was not really involved in this. He doesn't understand it. But apparently there's only one rat, they claim. His name is Mike. He's apparently the unofficial mascot of the whole office. Dave, of course, doesn't get it. And they've been feeding him. That's the best part. Dave then references the Black Plague, or if you want to know, the pneumonic plague in Europe. Matthew even says it's not a big deal. It killed, I think, a third of the entire population. It is a big deal. Maybe not in the world of antibiotics today, but if you ever look up your European history, it was a doozy. Even Bill likes Mike. And Bill explains the whole obsession with the rat, and it's like a family member, and Dave, and he does this in a very dramatic way. Mike is many things to these family, including family. These people, family. Like in, he could be in Fast and Furious. Dave, of course, is now the lone outcast. He sort of seems harmless. He relents and decides he's going to take up the traps, but it's too late. One of them got Mike, and he's dead now, and the whole office is traumatized. Everyone is kind of now mad at Dave for being heartless, and Bill really is there to drive that home. Dave keeps Mike's body in a little box, and they're going to hold a funeral. They gather around the elevator to pay their respects. Dave, in fact, accidentally joins them as he comes out of the restroom, which is next to the elevator, next to the chute for the incinerator. Everybody gives the eulogy. They all walk away, but Joe appears to be standing there, like maybe he's still distraught. Dave comes up and hugs him, and Joe proceeds to threaten him. Beth comes running in from the break room, claiming Mike is still alive. Later on, then another trap kills this one, and they're back for another funeral. Not sure which one is Mike, though. Back down the chute, they go downstairs to the Mexican restaurant to get drinks. And they are on to Dave about this whole thing. Everyone talks about trying to figure out why they're so affected by Mike. Talk about their dead pets and remembrance. Talk about their death details and everything. And Dave has a cat named Dusty. Scared to share why he doesn't want to say more, but that's because he's still alive. Yes, Bill and Dave talk again, and Dave is being accused now of being kind of like a robot, emotional. Mr. James puts in his very first appearance, and unlike the rest of the office, he does see the rat problem as a problem, like Dave. But Dave now tries to be sensitive to Mr. James because he thinks he's in on it, and he's not. He has no idea who Mike was. Dave thinks he should be more sensitive about his employees, and Mr. James thinks, well, if that's your bit, you do that. They have now replaced the rat traps with glue traps, which are supposed to be more. Those are not more humane, folks. Matthew has one stuck to his hand, of course, and Beth comes in and says that it's trapped one in the break room. Mr. James appears to be unsympathetic, goes in, comes back out, and he's like, he can't do it. His heart's too soft. Dave then goes in and finishes it, apparently squishing a dictionary onto its skull, and he's doing this, and then there are all these other rats they start finding. And it becomes Dave's job to kill them all. Back there, they're now having a bunch of funerals. Mr. James offers to take everyone to dinner. Dave stays by the chute. Bill quotes Keats as he was dying of tuberculosis, gather the rosebuds while you may. And then he says, who cares, and walks off. Finally, the gentleman from earlier, the exterminator, comes in and points out that the chute they've been using is the mailroom chute. The incinerator is over there. Mike Starr does this great job of both opening and closing this episode like a perfect little bookend. And it's a nice, tight story. Very funny the way we get to paint Dave in contrast over here to everybody else over there. It's absolutely just a fun little tight episode. Well done. No notes. That's all. No notes. All right. But let's now move on to the next episode. So our next episode we're talking about today is The Breakup. This is episode 4, season 2. This one is written by Paul Sims and directed by Peter Bornes. This one appeared on the 31st of October, 1995. And this one is where secret plotline C is going to get outed because Beth forces Dave and Lisa to reveal their relationship to the staff when she gets caught in the middle of a somewhat almost breakup fight. So this one, again, we have a tighter distinction between the two storylines. Storyline A is going to revolve around Dave and Lisa, but storyline B is right out the gate when Bill and Catherine are in the booth. It is the 15th of November, and it is Catherine's birthday, and Bill announces this despite her attempts to interfere and get him not to. But like a dog with a bone, Bill goes on, and even announces her age. And I'm sorry, I'm a man, but I am not a stupid man, and there are just some things like a woman's age you don't announce publicly. We all should know that. If you don't, some women are okay with it, and that's their prerogative. I just don't think you should be outing anybody, particularly a woman's age, without permission. And then they leave the booth. She chews him out. She now all of a sudden really wants to know Bill's birthday and age because she wants to embarrass him. And this will be our B storyline. She's not going to give up on him. She wants to know the date, and he says that's personal. Obviously pulling on a double standard. Catherine even goes to Dave to find out Bill's birthday, only to find out that Dave, as he searches through the files and the personnel files, they're blank. He left a bit. So she's still out for revenge, and that's going to be our B storyline. Like I said, A storyline, Dave and Lisa's fight. Apparently, this was sparked because after they got into a heated debate, he called her the B word, and you can guess what that is, and I'm going to tell you. Apologies for the language again. I try not to cuss on this one. He called her a bitch, but they say it on the episode, so get over it. It's not his character, and Lisa's not letting it go. And at one point, she gives Dave his keys back to his place, and Matthew comes in. He notices the tension and anger. He wants to know what's going on. This is the whole thing where it's spilling out. He calls it sexual tension he thought he had noticed in them on the elevator, and then goes on about how taboo, and then he leaves. Dave gives Beth a cover story. Eventually, this is her being dragged into this all again. And at one point, she says this very clearly: I will tell the lies, but I will not make them up. All right. Good. Beth goes and gives the keys Dave gives to Lisa's apartment. Bill walks by and sees it, and they try to cover it. He goes, secret keys. Beth gets a new lie about the keys. Beth feels like she's working, and she feels like as she's telling Dave, I feel like I'm working for Kaiser Sose, which is a usual Suspects reference about, what's his name? The guy who's been canceled. Spacey. Yeah, Kevin Spacey's whole character, where he makes up the story and the lies and this elaborate story of the cop, which is the whole underlying pinning element of that clever story, which is really a good one. So if you haven't seen The Usual Suspects, go watch it. You'll get the Kaiser Sose reference. Like I said, Beth gives keys back to Lisa. Dave and her apparently, they starts getting the story that they were at the movies. They ran into Joe again, and he apparently went on to watch the whole movie with Joe and then go to a bar with him. Lisa was mad. This is how they got into a fight. And this is where he ended up saying the B word. Lisa gives Dave's stuff back to him via Beth. Bill continues to see everything, and Lisa is still mad at Dave, and they're still making up excuses. Mr. James now runs into Dave in the bathroom. They have a quick talk about what's going on, reveals what he said, reveals that he said the bitch word. Mr. James' advice is that Lisa needs to see Dave suffer, but no one knows that they're dating, and so he's like, you're screwed. Matthew's trying to rally everyone to sing Catherine a happy birthday. He gets blown off. Joe notices that Lisa and Dave's situation at the lunch table is getting really tense. Beth is mixing up her stories. It's getting all awkward, and she finally breaks under the stress and leaves. They follow her into the break room. So Lisa and Dave are trying to comfort her in the break room. The constant lying is getting to her, and they start to feel bad for her. And then she tells everyone, past tense, that she's already told everybody. And they're like, oh no, like you're going to? No, did. Past tense. Beth already blurts out, apparently said she blurted out in front of the whole staff last week, and now they are pretending not to know. Meanwhile, Catherine confronts Bill and tries to make him up to him by pretending to be nice, to lean in, to give him a hug for her birthday and steal his wallet. And he reveals to her he doesn't keep his license in his wallet because he knows what she's going for. He laughs. He keeps it in apparently some other safe place. Lisa and Dave then get everybody, and they announce everybody they're dating. Everybody's shocked because Beth didn't tell anyone. That was a trick to get them to confess. And it goes over super awkwardly. Beth gets called into Dave's office. She lied, but thanks to them, for the practice. Dave is kind of relieved. Lisa's kind of so about all this. They decide to go to lunch together as a couple, and my gosh, it's like they can't not sleek around. It is so awkward that they are impossible to hold hands, do anything. It's amazing. They look super awkward, Dave and Lisa, now they're out in the open. It's hilarious watching them try to hold hands. It's like they don't know how to be a couple if they're not sneaking around. When they come back from lunch, they come back to an inappropriate sign on Dave's door that says, "Officer Rocking, don't come a knocking." They go in to find Mr. James waiting for them. He is back to that conversation from the end of season 1, or was it early season 2? I don't remember. I think it was just last episode. So season 2, about which one of them's going to quit. And then he goes on to have a conversation about how the pressure of it's going to get to them. And he gives them 3 months. He says that they think the staff doesn't care. He knows the staff cares. In fact, at one point he opens the blinds to Dave's window and he sees them all staring and listening. Then revises it to 2 months after seeing that the new sign on the door says Love Shack, and leaves. Talking to the staff, Beth reveals that the whole thing about Dave's use of the B word, bitch. Tells everyone, and of course Dave gets the real cold shoulder from everybody. Dave tries to laugh it off when he tells them, and it really falls flat. All this is all going inside the office. Matthew now wants to surprise Catherine with a birthday present because apparently everybody forgot his birthday the previous week. And he does have a present for her, and so inside she finds a copy of Bill's birth certificate. Apparently his mom would not give it up, but he found out where the hospital was and he got it for her, and that's her present. Bill's birthday is June 19th. Also, Bill is his middle name. Apparently his first name is Evelyn. This gets blurted out when they're having drinks later after Dave and Lisa leave. The group starts talking about them again and talking about words they wouldn't say, all about Dave calling her the B word. And that's when Catherine blurts out Evelyn, and he says it's pronounced Evelyn. So another great episode. So that one's in the books. Next time we'll be looking at Shrink and Friends. Now I was going to talk about cold opens, but this was not a cold open. Next time we have a cold open, I want to bring that up and talk about that as a sitcom trope. We'll bring those back, but we didn't have a cold open. In fact, we actually had a cold open that was actually part of the main story, so it didn't count. Oh well. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, share, comment. If you want to write us directly, you can check out the link below of where all our socials are, including our email, or you can check the ticker. You can read us at notfunnyguys.offthereels@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you, hear about what you think about what we're doing over here with the YouTube stuff where we're covering television. So I want to hear ideas. I have not forgotten about Red Dwarf. For any of you new folks here, we have covered Red Dwarf and Venture Brothers and Andor, but I do plan on some point going back to both Red Dwarf and Adventure Brothers and recruiting people to that what they feel like are like their top 10 episodes or their favorite episodes from a certain series or season. So if you have ideas in that department and you want to go back and check out our playlists and then send me your thoughts, please do so. I'd love to hear it. So in the meantime, check that out. But if you want to check out some more Not Funny Guys stuff, we have 3 podcasts you can check out. You can check out our main podcast where myself, Dr. John, Casey, and Eric, there are 3 Not Funny Guys. Our main podcast, Not Funny Guys Presents Off the Reels. You can see it behind me here, where we cover movies. Now, we did a little venture into the YouTube, so if you're on the YouTube channel, you may see some of our stuff there. Didn't get a lot of traction. We'll probably come back to it at some point in the future. But right now, we're keeping it mainly in its audio form. Maybe we need a bigger production staff. But over there, we cover movies. And recently, we finished up doing the theatrical Batmans. We're in the process of wrapping up. In fact, our final episode of the Danny DeVito 3-pack will be Twins, will be coming out Monday. We have Romancing the Stone and LA Confidential are already up. And then I think we're watching Rookie of the Year, which is Eric's pick for winning the bet around the Oscars, the Academy Awards. If that's not your cup of tea, you can also check out our other Not Funny podcast. This one comes to you courtesy of Casey and Eric. Not Funny Guys presents Wrestling with the Horror of It All, where they talk about wrestling, mainly WWE, and horror films. So you can check out some more specific stuff there. They have a fun time, I'm assuming, too. I'm just not involved. But I am involved in our 3rd podcast, where you can find me, Dr. John, and our Not Funny gal, Dr. Kristen, over on Not Funny Guys Presents Thinking About Thinking, where we get into all kinds of discussions about things we're thinking about. So that's AI, culture, history. We bounce all over the place, but it really does center around whatever it is we're thinking about. So we've got some great episodes. We're into season 2. We're at episode 17. That one just went up recently the other day, so you can check those out. We've got a catalog, season 1, season 3, season 2. We hit about 30 episodes a season. So we got about 47 out there for you to check out. So go take a look at those if it's something that's interesting to you. But even if it's not, stick with us here on the YouTube channel, and we'd love to have you. All are welcome. As long as we keep it positive. Just keep it positive. And additionally to that keeping it positive, also remember, always keep it not funny.